Thanks for coming.
I mean, I'd be lying if I said I had much on the docket, so...
Will you present your name for us?
There's none of those, little, words or titles at the bottom. You know what I'm talking about?
There will be, but consider this as your first step in controlling the narrative.
Okay. Well, Steve Turner. Stephen B. Turner. I mean, if the B really matters. The B never really matters, though.
Would you like the B to be in the title card?
Okay, sure. I mean, whatever you want.
So, tell us about yourself. Who were you before the incident?
Well, people have things to do. People have, a life, job, kids, day job, night job. And then me without a job or kids. I just never fit that equation. So, I guess you would say I'm a nobody. Well, nobody to anybody.
A loser.
Yeah, that's been tossed around a little bit, but no, actually no. I get dates, hookups if you want to be a little bit more accurate. I mean, just a hot piece of ass being tossed around, and just didn't really like that feeling. It just wasn't the same for me, It wasn't.
Not the same from what?
Not the same from what I wanted. I mean, I never wanted my name in the... Have you ever been to Hollywood, before all this?
No.
And neither have I. So I just want to know, do they have their names in the lights? Do they really have their names in the lights, or is that just a figure of speech, or is that really real? I mean, I've never done it before. I've never been there before, but I want to know so I can want it.
So that's who you were, a dreamer.
Yeah.
So you want to talk to us through the infamous night?
I mean, what you want?
Control the narrative.
Okay, but what's the official story?
You saved 2 orphans from a stranded bus.
Wait, orphans? They were orphans?
They are now.
Shit.
What happened?
So there I was, out at Kuster's restaurant, dining for 2.
Oh my God.
I'm not going to talk about that, controlling the narrative. I'm not even going to mention her name. But I was on a date, and we've been dating now for, 2 weeks or something like that. And, the honeymoon phase, where we're just buying each other gifts, stuffing our face, suffocating each other.
2 weeks in?
Yes, that's the proper time to do it. So as we were eating, come to think about it, I don't know what I said. It must have been something stupid, because I never heard back from her ever again that night.
Maybe it was because of the literal apocalypse.
Nah. I mean, she would have called me back, especially with sex being on the mind. I can't even imagine, her not thinking about that, especially with death being so imminent. Well, imminent back then because, scary times.
That you were dumped.
Funny. No. So there we were, walking down the street, and not really doing anything, not wondering, but looking back on it, the street was completely abandoned, and that should have been a big red flag by itself. Anyway, so I look at her, and then she's more intrigued on something else and looking past me. So I turn around, I look at what's going on, and next thing you know, not even a couple of feet away from us, there was this big giant school bus. I don't know if it was a bus or not, but I think it was. It could have been a truck.
Let's go with the school bus.
Okay, so it's official. A big giant school bus came flying by and it rammed right into a deli. It completely rammed into this deli, super deep, and the deli wasn't big to begin with, so it didn't really take much, but still.
A shock to behold.
Well, yeah, my biggest thing was I didn't hear it, I didn't see it. How is there no sirens, no sounds, nothing? And we were only 2 blocks away from where we needed to be. And then I'm just standing there with all disbelief.
What was the girl doing? What was her reaction?
I don't know. I mean, she was terrified too. I mean, she had to have been. I didn't really care. I was just completely shut out. All I was focused on was myself, and I was only looking at what was going on. And it was just me and the bus. And to some extent, the deli too.
What snapped you out of it?
A bottle.
From the restaurant?
No, it was homebrew. She got that and the rest of our entire evening in her little doggy bag, and she wasn't big on sharing, so that was, I guess, her way of giving me the finger. And quite literally, later that night, giving me the finger.
So wait, you homebrewed your drink while staring at the bus?
No. I homebrewed at home when I got home. I just wish it could have been that easy. Go figure.
So what happened to the bus? Or the girl? I just feel like we're jumping around the timeline here. What pulled you out of that moment?
The kids. Yeah, they were screaming. I'm like, what asshole would leave kids on a bus completely unsupervised, unattended? Like, there's usually some oversight. And next thing you know, I turn back, I look at my date, and she's completely gone.
She abandoned you?
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, that happens. I have a track record for that. It's no big deal. But she abandoned the kids, too.
Right.
Look, I'm not an apologist. I don't know. Maybe she didn't hear them. Maybe at some point in time she moved away and it all left. I don't know.
You think she did?
I'm not an apologist.
Oh.
So there I was, all alone. Hands are sweaty. The bus is there. And I've never done anything heroic in my life before. Well, except that one time when I got punched without even flinching. But this just felt right. It felt like it was my moment. I mean, it's about the kids. I mean, it's always about the kids. But at that exact moment, in the context of this conversation, it was my moment.
Okay.
So I go into the window, I go up to the door, I try to pull them up, and both of which were jammed.
Or else the kids would have escaped.
Yes, of course. I mean, you're not thinking that clearly when you have adrenaline pumping. At that point in time, I was pumping. So after that fail, I started rummaging around through the deli. I pried open a drawer. I found a meat cleaver. I started hacking away at the door. It wouldn't work. I kept looking at the kids, and all I could think to myself was, I have to get in there to help them.
What did you do?
Well, obviously, I didn't get in the traditional way. I mean, I eventually just got a bunch of shit. I started throwing shit at it left and right. And the first attempt didn't work. Didn't even put a dent in it. Second, third. Eventually, the window bursted open. I don't exactly remember how it did, but it eventually did. I may have to go back there and really think about it and jog my memory.
So you finally got to the kids?
Yeah, I finally got to the kids. I hopped in through the window. And I thought to myself, like, what jackass would sit here and leave these kids, again, unsupervised? And lo and behold, I looked down at the ground. And that's when I saw the two dead bodies. Like, what a sight. And that must have been traumatizing to the kids.
Must have been traumatizing for you, too.
Yeah, I mean, but who am I? Just a loser?